Welcome back to the Titanium Hangout. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with Transform Element Black Widow, the first version of any Beast Wars figure in the Legends size that I have seen in person. I know there's quite a few coming, but hey, this is going to be my first. I did get this at Show Z. I'll put a link down below so you can get yours. And this is actually a pretty solid little figure for being so small. Let's get right into it. So let's go ahead and take a good look at her in her spider mode. And she has quite a bit of paint apps all over with all those little eyes. And then I like the gold accents. I think it was done really well. Looking at the legs, they have a very nice color and a shine to them. They're not individually articulated, and I can see if you're too rough with them, you definitely will break those things. There's red paint right here, gold paint right there. If you look at the bottom where the arms are just kind of stowed away, I guess you could say, and I don't know if I even have them in there just right, but still a nice looking figure all the way around. And between the paint and the black being kind of having a nice sheen to it, I think it really looks good in this mold. Let's go ahead and get some size comparisons, and I'll use my usual characters with a McFan's Toys Hound. And then we have the official Sea Spray. So kind of fits in with Legends, although not really scaling with Legends because we know that Beast Wars figures are supposed to be a lot smaller. I think they kind of threw that out. I don't really think Beast Wars figures scale masterpiece wise of their own collection, I guess you could say, and their own, or else they'd be like way too small. And then this is one that Legion size, so you can kind of get an idea for size. Now all of the accessories that are included on this mode. They're all built in to make the mode. There is some parts forming to it, except for this pelvis piece. So that's really the only other part that was left that's not included in this. I think that was a pretty interesting design. It is a parts former. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. That's just the way they made it. But let's get it into bot mode. So the first thing we're going to need to do to transform this is take off all of the parts forming pieces, which this is the gun, and disconnect this section of the gun that's right here, which connects into the thin part of the neck there. That's kind of scary. And I'm gonna go ahead and collapse the fangs right now just to be safe. And we want to build the gun back the way it was. Put it in like that. And we're gonna build the gun back. And then let's take the side pieces off. Now these parts can tab back in robot mode, or you can leave it off if you choose. Now you can kind of see how it's all put together. If you didn't have those side pieces on, it definitely wouldn't look like a spider. So go ahead and we're gonna straighten out the legs. And the legs are nice and stiff. They did pop off the ball joint for me a couple times, but that was probably just me maneuvering it the wrong way. And I kind of like that in a way that, hey, if I make a little mistake, it's not gonna completely break it. Rotate the arms out. And we're going to fold this head back in here. And then we can build her back up. Oh, we gotta flip the chest around because it tabs in right here to those. Flip her head around. Get her arms positioned right. Now we have to swap pelvises. It's actually a much easier transformation to get it into bot than it was to get into spider mode. Now that pegs in nice and tight. All right, let's get her bling bling pelvis in place. There it is. And now we can add on her thigh pieces. Let's see if we can get those added on. like so, onto here. And we need to give her her gun. All right, there she is, transformed up, and we're gonna have a look at her. So let's get a good look at her face. I think it's a pretty decent looking face on her. She looks good, nice paint. They do have some paint on the chest there that wasn't on the test shot, that wasn't running or floating around. And then got some paint right here. And if you really, when you get down to the thighs, I think I'll just take that off. I don't like these. I don't like that look. I like it better without those. And she ships without those, so not a big deal. And then the gold paint that's right here, the purple, we have purple right here, gold right here, and it looks good. I understand there may be some die cast in some of these pieces in here. It does feel pretty hefty, like it's got some weight to it, and she does stand relatively well. The back cleans up nice and well, and like this piece here is kind of reminiscent of the same part that's right here, to sort of make it look like this is part of the alt mode, which looks pretty good. It's interesting how they integrated all of that. So, getting into articulation, head is on a swivel and it goes up and down. Well, down is not so much. You can go out to around there. Of course, you have a 360. You have a ball joint at the elbow, and that's really all you need. She does not have a waist swivel because you see the intricate pins that are required for her transformation, but you do have more than a 90 front and back. And then there's no thigh swivel, but you do have a double jointed knee, which is also part of the transformation. You also have ankle. You got shin joint, which is not really something that you would pose her with, and her no ankle rocker, but you have some toe tilt to her. Yeah, and it is kind of hard to keep all this little guy on camera. And she's very stable, like you can pick her up. Now that's one of the problems with all of the fembots, is how they're not stable. This one is stable. Styrofoam. I don't know why I'm covered in styrofoam on all these boxes, but anyhow, I think she's very well done. Now for some size comparisons, let's show her next to, this is the New Age Megatron. This is Magic Square's Prime. They all look good together. She's a bit smaller than them. I could live with that. I'm okay with that. Brings up a question though. If you get her now and you don't have any other Beast Wars figures to go with her, where are you going to put her? Just, next to Megatron? There she is, smaller than a Carbot, smaller than my smallest Carbots. And so this is the Iron Factory. Toy World's Whiskey Jack, and so she's smaller than both of them. So theoretically, these are the two products that has been put out so far by Transform Element, and they made a great Prime. A lot of people are trying to say that she is actually in scale with him, because in the cartoon, they are this is the size that you would see in the Beast Wars cartoon, and I think that might actually be correct if you were to look at it from that point of view and that standing. So could she actually be Masterpiece scaled? So this is Blackarachnia, Black Widow. Very small, very thin, very good figure. I really think she looks great. I would be careful with these legs because they do feel like they could snap off if you're too rough with them. Aside from that, the couple of tiny parts that are parts forming to it that are a bit challenging. You got to be careful not to lose those. And aside from that, I think it's a pretty solid figure. It looks good in both modes, and Definitely, if you're into the Beast Wars, this is for you. Anyway, I got this at Shozy. You can get yours too. I'll put a link down below. Let me know what you think of this figure. Like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.